Is the Thunderbolts the turning point the MCU was desperately looking for? Also something big happening in the post-credit scene. I will be breaking down what happened in the Thunderbolts movie and give my thoughts and honest review on the film. If you have not seen the movie yet, this is your spoiler warning, so if you don't want to see any spoilers, come back to this video after you watch the film. The first thing I want to say is that this film is basically a Yelena film with a team of side characters around her. I did not expect for the movie to mainly be focused on her, with only a sliver of the other hero stories being told. But I am not complaining because I actually enjoyed how it basically felt like a Yelena story. She definitely has the most demons and current mental struggles she is trying to overcome from recent events, but they still gave everyone else in the Thunderbolts a reason to want to team up. Every character had their own little redemption arc. The movie starts out with Yelena on a mission to destroy Valentina's secrets. Valentina is currently the director of the CIA and is under investigation for impeachment, so she is trying to terminate any evidence of unsanctioned missions and experiments that she was a part of. Part of her secrets of OXE were Yelena, John Walker, Ghost, and Taskmaster, as they all worked missions for her. Yelena was feeling empty and thought working a lot of missions would distract her from it all, but she didn't feel like she was doing any good. As she wanted to finally get a change in her life, Valentina sent the four of them to kill each other, so there are no loose ends that can get her impeached. I think that is a great setup for the team to join together, as they are all lost souls that have done bad things in the past and don't play well with others. The best way to get them to team up is if they all were deceived by the same person and want to put a stop to her. The surprising, but yet not surprising part in the scene where they all meet is Taskmaster's death. Fans have been speculating for a long time that Taskmaster was going to die, as she wasn't really in much of the advertisements or trailers. So her death was expected, but not really expected in that capacity and that soon in the movie. She probably had a total of 2 to 3 minutes of screen time before Ghost killed her, and I didn't expect for a member of the Thunderbolts to kill her. But having Ghost kill her actually was really good for Ghost's character development throughout the film, because every member of the team had their own little redemption story to fix past mistakes, and Ghost killing Taskmaster just felt like for her another mission she was doing for the good of the country, until she realized that she was deceived by Valentina and there was no reason to kill her besides just cleaning up Valentina's skeletons. You can see throughout the movie how Ghost felt bad about killing her and wanted to make up for her mistakes, as she could have left the rest of the team to die multiple times, yet she kept coming back to help. So for Ghost's character, it was a really good decision they made, but it also makes me disappointed how they killed Taskmaster off. Taskmaster has a really cool skill set, being able to mimic anybody's fighting style, and many fans were disappointed on how they represented the character in Black Widow. The Thunderbolts was a great opportunity for them to fix Taskmaster's representation within the MCU, but instead of using the movie to fix the character, they decided to kill her right away. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, as they missed out on potential for a cool character, but it doesn't ruin the movie for me. I love the dynamic of Bob, aka Sentry, aka The Void, within the group. He is lost, broken, and alone, just like everyone else, except he was just a civilian who always struggled with mental issues. It is really obvious how the theme for the entire movie is about mental health and seeking help from people around you. It felt really appropriate to make that a theme, as mental health is a really important topic in the real world, and all these superpowered people face extreme trauma in their line of work, so showing the wear and tear that being a hero comes with on your mental health helps make the MCU feel more real and authentic to the real world, and not just a fantasy land inside a comic book. The two late joiners of the Thunderbolts team are Red Guardian and Bucky. Alexei is bored and looking for excitement, which drives him into the team along with wanting to protect his daughter, while Bucky is serving as a rookie congressman trying to help impeach Valentina. I am happy they didn't focus on the personal issues of these two characters as much as the rest of the team, as everyone else needed more time for their development. I like how Alexei was used as the comedic relief of the movie, or else it would have been too dark overall as a film. And he also played as a guidance role to help Yelena overcome the demons inside of her. We already know about Bucky's terrible past and all his struggles, which has been shown in multiple films and in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, so focusing on his mental health again would just be reiterating too much and showing how he is not getting better. But I love how Bucky is starting to move on with his life and now make a difference as a congressman. Many people thought it was selfish for Steve to leave Bucky when he needed him the most, but not needing to rely on Steve probably helped him become his own person again. Bob and Yelena had a really strong connection from the start as they share similar demons. The only thing I would criticize about the film is how fast Bob turned on the Thunderbolts. He trusted and formed a bond with them in the beginning while knowing that Valentina was evil and the one sought out to have them all killed. Yet Valentina was able to turn him against them really fast. I guess I can give the writers the benefit of the doubt that a lot more time between Bob and Valentina happened off screen, and the fact that Bob always felt like a nobody and he was now given an opportunity to be important. He did come to his senses after realizing how much more powerful he was than everyone and turned on Valentina. Another small nitpick I have about the first fight between the Thunderbolts and Sentry would be the CGI. It looked like how the CGI has been in many projects after Endgame. It just seemed like they have downgraded a lot of their CGI. Throughout the entire movie, I thought all the effects looked great except for this scene. It was still cool and entertaining to see how his power sets were being used within the fight, but that's just me being nitpicky, as I can still watch the scene and be satisfied with it. I'm just curious on the inconsistency of the grading for the CGI. But this brings us into the final part in the movie, and for those MCU fans that like giant and big fights, you might not have been a fan of this ending, but I felt like this ending was perfect for the film. As much as I love huge fights, this film was about fighting your inner demons, so having the final fight being a mental fight worked perfectly. Especially as there couldn't be a giant battle in this film, as the real antagonist was Valentina, and she isn't a physical fighter, and her weapon she had was Sentry, who is just so overpowered compared to the Thunderbolts that the fight wouldn't last long, as we already saw in the movie. It really was scary to see how hopeless the team was fighting him. It really sets the tone on the fear of his power and how he is mentally unstable. But in the end, after Yelena was able to save herself from her own demons, she was able to save Bob too. All hope seemed lost for Valentina, but she is very smart and always has a backup plan. She ends up taking credit for the Thunderbolts' victory and announces them as her secret project as the new Avengers. The members of the Thunderbolts could have exposed her, but they finally get the spotlight they wanted and a chance to redeem themselves to do good for the world, so they went along with it, as they can get what they want and control Valentina as they know all her secrets. After the movie, there was a mid-credit and post-credit scene. The mid-credit scene is just a joke to when Alexei was saying how they would be on a Wheaties cereal box, and he was trying to show a lady buying cereal that he was the man on the box. I laugh at every moment Alexei is on screen, so I'm happy they gave him a mid-credit scene that called back to a comment he made earlier in the movie. Then the post-credit scene is the big kicker for the future of the MCU. It basically spoils the ending for the Fantastic Four movie, but it just confirmed my predictions about the film, so not really sure if I could call it a spoiler if I already suspected that it would play out this way. But the scene is basically the Thunderbolts all together talking about how Sam Wilson has already started up his own new Avengers, so the Thunderbolts are clashing with them for the name, and it seems like they are now kicked aside as outcasts once again. It seems like Sam and Bucky's relationship is not on good terms at the moment, which sucks because I really do like their dynamic together. They get an update that an extra-dimensional ship is entering the Earth's atmosphere, which is revealed to be the Fantastic Four. This confirms that something happens to their world. It probably got destroyed and they travel to a different universe to warn them about the threat that is facing the entire multiverse. From the Fantastic Four trailers, we see that Galactus has come to destroy their world and Reed is working on something to travel through dimensions. That means it is a multiversal threat they are facing, and after it hits their world, they travel to the main MCU timeline to try and stop the threat before it hits other worlds. As we can see from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the only way to travel through the multiverse was with America Chavez's powers, outside of the TVA. So when Reed was looking for a way to travel through the multiverse, and they were taking a trip up to space, I was predicting that instead of a machine that makes some sort of portal to travel through the multiverse, he discovers some sort of wormhole up in space that allows you to travel through the multiverse. Also in What If, it seemed like somewhere in space was how all the universes were connected. So when they were arriving in the main MCU's world through space, that confirmed my theory of finding some way to travel through the multiverse in space. From the Fantastic Four trailers to the Thunderbolts post-credit scenes, I feel like we have a lot of information on what we will expect to happen within the end of the movie, which is disappointing in my opinion, but nothing less, I still am really excited for it, and I am hopeful that I will love it. With all that being said about the film, overall, I absolutely love the Thunderbolts. I feel like it was exactly what the MCU needed, especially before they're diving deeply into the Infinity War and Endgame type movies of the multiverse saga. Also, Captain America, The Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie, and this movie probably has the closest tone to that movie, which makes me like this film even more. I would probably say the film is an 8.5 out of 10, losing some points mainly because it lacked big action sequences, and it also lacked face-to-face interactions between the protagonist and antagonist. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the movie, what you would rate it on a scale 1 through 10, and what was your favorite part about the movie. Also, like and subscribe to stay up to date for more Marvel news.